Well, let's get going here. Thank you very much for joining me today. I'm Bruce Webb with the Bruce Webb team. We're here with Preferred Realtors. Our market is up and down the 275 and the 23 corridors, and today we'd like to talk a little bit about what's going on in the market. Um, as we've reported the last few weeks, inventory is super low, so we're getting multiple offers on just about every property out there. So if the house is neat and clean and priced right, we have those multiple offer situations. So we got to be able to handle those situations. And one of the main things that comes into play is appraisals. So first of all, though, I want to take a step back here and say if you have any questions, please put them down below. I'll or chat them in. I'll try to answer them for you today. We got, as I said, a great Michigan day going here. It's getting close to 70 degrees. So we got to get our golf clubs out and start swinging. And hope everyone's getting ready for the summer. So, but thought we start off first of all by talking about service providers. Every real estate agent should have a great service provider list that you could go to, and the main ones that they are the mortgage person, insurance person, title company, inspectors, and those are the main ones that actually get the transaction done. But there's a lot of other ones that are in the background that can your real estate agent should be able to provide for you. Reason I say this is I've always taken the approach that if someone's coming in from out of state and they really don't know anybody here, I want to get their life up and running as quickly as possible with the best people in the community. That's one of the reasons why I am very active in the Plymouth Chamber and the Plymouth Quanians, because I get to know the business people here in the area and how they work. And it's outside the office frame, but at the same time, you can tell a lot from the character of someone on how they provide or give back to the community. And that's what a lot of these people do with the chamber. They're giving back to the business community, and the Kiwanis, they're giving back to the community as whole. So those are very important relationships that we've tried to create over the years. But service providers, we should have a good handle on people like the heating and cooling, for your furnace, roofers, electrician, plumbers, all those things around the house, landscapers. Those are important that way too. But we also want to talk about, where do you get a haircut? Attorney that you might want to talk to about other situations besides real estate. You have your family law, you have your, criminal law as far as that goes, but you have a variety of different people that you have in the community that can help you out. And what we like to do here is be the go-to person and understand. And I give you an example, and this was from years ago, but it still is one of the top things in my mind is I had a past client who called me up day before Christmas and said, Bruce, I know it's Christmas Eve. Do you have a attorney that can help me out? My mother-in-law and father-in-law were just in a car accident, and we think there's neglect that was going on with that car accident. And I looked up my book. At that time, I had a 3-ring binder, and I called it the Book of Love. Now we got, the iPhones and all these other devices that we store everything in. But I called him up, and I called the attorney up, and he was actually called him that night and said that they can, they would get together and they would work things out, and they actually did. There was a settlement for them, and there was a, but those are things that I take pride in, helping out my clients before, during, and after the transaction. So having a good service providing network is huge for a real estate agent, and he should or she should be your go-to person whenever you're trying to get some things done around the house, around the community, and for yourself. I wanted to start off today with talking about Westland. Westland is a unique community. Because reason I say that is they're down inventory like every other community, and we're using the RealComp stats. And last week we were able to come up with the February stats for them. They just came out. They're usually a month behind once they get all the numbers tallied and everything. So uh, in 2020, in February, there was 91 homes on the market in Westland at this time, and this year there was only 50. So we were down 45% compared to the year before, and our days on the market went from 27 down to 19. Again, another almost 30% decrease. So it's but the strange thing, as I said about Westland, is the average sale price stayed the same, pretty much at 157. So most of the communities around the area, the prices have gone up and gone up quite a bit. So again, that's the little difference in Westland right now. I started to talk about appraisals at the beginning, and appraisals are very important right now. And there's a lot of different appraisals and reasons to have an appraisal. The main one right now, though, is because of buying or selling a home. The mortgage company wants to understand that there's a true value in that home, and that they're lending the money out on, and they want to make sure that they're can capture that money back just in case that there's a default on it. Okay. But there's other reasons. There could be from a probate situation where you might have to have an appraisal done to get an estimate on a house for tax reasons, or as I said, from probate and someone passing away, or some other situation where they need attorney might need a true value of a home or something like that. So that's where appraisals come in. But the biggest thing that we're having right now is, and since we're having all these overbiddings of properties, and it is tough to get an appraisal to match the sale price. So in our purchase agreements, there's got to be some sort of what we call an appraisal clause, saying that the seller will pay X amount of dollars over a appraisal value, okay? Or the deal's going to fall apart, because the mortgage company will not lend them the money to purchase the home, or at least not enough money to purchase the home. For example, if the house sells for $200,000 and the appraisal comes in at 180, well, there's a $20,000 difference that the seller, or excuse me, the buyer has to bring to the closing table. Okay, now, do they have the money, first of all? Are they able to bring that in? Are they willing to bring it in? But that all should be in writing whenever that purchase offer was made, that offer. So those are things that we want to really take into consideration for both the seller and the buyer, because once we get to that point, we want the transaction to go through, and we don't want the appraisal to trip up the transaction. Now, if the appraisal doesn't match the dollar amount, there's a couple different things that can happen. First, the seller agrees to sell it at the appraised value, okay, and the transaction goes on. The buyer brings in the additional money, and the transaction goes on. Or the seller or the buyer come to a negotiation. Maybe they meet somewhere in the middle, and the transaction goes on. Or the fourth option is the deal's dead, and everyone goes their way, and they move on. So that's the appraisal process. And it can be tricky depending on the type of appraisal that you're looking at. And you can get into a commercial appraisal compared to a residential appraisal. They're all different, and they do it a different way. And we could actually have 10 different appraisers come out and get 10 different answers, appraise the value on a home, but they should be fairly close because they're following the same guidelines on that. Okay, our next community that we wanted to talk about today was Novi. Novi is, again, we're looking at 2020 compared to 2021. Homes on the market last year was 121. This year's 54, 55% decrease. So you can see that how this inventory is really changing the structure right now. Now, days on the market went from 69 to 33. One of the reasons, though, last year in Novi, there was a little bit of construction going on to have the 69 days on the market. But the average sale price went from 113 to 550. That was a huge jump of 33%. So that is more typical than what the Westland um, community is. Again, if you have any questions or if there's a community that you would like to hear about, we'd be glad to talk about it. We're here for you. We want to answer your questions. And one of the things I wanted to bring up today is market share and how Preferred Realtors sits in the market with all the other communities. And this is right from the MLS. Okay, and let me get this over here a little bit. There you go. This is Preferred Realtors on the right. Okay, now what we're proud of right now, we have 5.5% of the market share up and down the, well, this is in the Plymouth Canton community, and which is huge. We have approximately 90 agents that work out of my office here. Okay, to give you an idea though, Keller Williams is another office in Plymouth. They have 4.4 market shares, but they have 187, more than double the number of agents that we have here in our office, and they're still behind us in the Plymouth Canton area in the market share. RE/MAX is another main office here at 3% of the market share, and so we just wanted to sort of share that with you up and down the Plymouth Canton community. We also do the same thing here. Now this is from last year, how we compared to other other offices in the community. And again, we were the #1 office up and down the 275 corridor, taking into consideration Plymouth, Livonia, Canton, Northville, and that. So we have been the #1 office, and we remained the #1 office for years, and that was one of the reasons I came over here years and years ago, as we wanted to work with the best. So if you have any more, if you have any questions, we're here for you. Let's see here. Oh, one of the things I wanted to bring up today too is I have several buyers on the market right now that are looking. Okay, one is looking in the Livonia, Canton, Plymouth area. It's we're looking for a 3-bedroom ranch with 2 baths, up to about $300,000. So that is one. So if you know someone who's thinking about selling in those areas, that has a ranch, basement, 2-car attached garage, that's important to my buyer right now. We have another buyer out in Pinckney who's looking for a 4-bedroom, 2.5 bath, open style. It can be either colonial or ranch, with a basement, 2-car garage, and they can go up to about $330,000 in price range. And then I have another buyer looking into the 120 price range here in the Plymouth Garden City area, Westland area, looking for a 2 or 3-bedroom home. So those are 3 of the, I don't know, 8, 9, 10 of buyers that we're working with right now. So we have buyers from the Southgate area all the way up to Pinckney area, out to Howell, looking right now. So if you have someone who's thinking about selling this summer, have them give us a call, and we probably can work out a pretty good deal for them right now. So until then, I hope you have a great Michigan day, and let's talk soon.